Welcome to the QueenDreamz podcast. QueenDreamz works with ladies of all calibers to help live life by design and not by default. Tune in every Monday for the motivational moments and every Wednesday for Wellness Wednesdays. QueenDreamz brings videos and webisodes to this station every week that is sure to motivate, inspire, and encourage women all across the globe. Thank you in advance. Now, here's your host of QueenDreamz.
Hi, ladies. Thank you for coming back. Thanks so much. It's always a joy coming before you on this YouTube channel. Please, if you could help out with growing our YouTube family, please hit like, share, and subscribe. Share it with somebody that you care about, a lady in particular. QueenDreamz works with ladies to encourage, motivate, and inspire ladies to live life by design and not default. You can check me out every Monday on our Facebook group where we motivate on Mondays, and here on this YouTube channel where we come before you on Wellness Wednesdays. Every once in a while, QueenDreamz may come to you outside of those two opportunities through the week if there's a little bit more something special to share. So with that, let's get right into today's webisode subject. Narcissistic personality disorder. Yes, narcissistic personality disorder. Lots of individuals these days are encountering relationships with a narcissist. Unbeknownst to the innocent individual at the onset of this relationship, you may not necessarily understand exactly what you are embarking upon. So, it is my honor and privilege to bring before you to answer this question, not just from what I think it is, but more from a clinical perspective. For those of you that know me on a personal level, you know that by trade, by profession, I am a licensed professional counselor. I'm affectionately known as QueenDreamz. However, I wanted to take a moment to enlighten you about the clinical aspects of narcissism. Now, if you watch YouTube pretty frequently, you know there's a lot of buzzwords going around about narcissistic behavior and da-da-da-da-da-da, and these are the traits and da-da-da-da. Those may be based upon experiences, but I'm going to give you here the clinical definition of narcissistic personality disorder, aka narcissism. All right, so number one, for starters, narcissistic personality disorder is a pervasive pattern of grandiosity, need for admiration, and a lack of empathy that typically can begin as early as young adulthood. Okay, so what does that mean? They are pretty grandiose, which means they have pretty much a very haughty or very arrogant disposition about themselves. They present themselves as very superior in nature. They need to be admired. They need to be, oh, Frank, you're so wonderful. They love unlimited attention. They need to be the theme of the attention when they are in the room, they're in the conversation. Ladies, if you pay attention to the content of a conversation with a man, you can kind of start to detect, he's talking a lot about himself. Or here's another clue. Does he ever ask you any questions about yourself? Does he ever take interest in you and what you have going on in your life? So kind of pay attention to the fact that they always need to be admired or they always need to be one-upped. Have you ever been in a conversation with a gentleman and you're sharing something about your success that you have and he minimizes it and just skips over it? You just got the Nobel Prize, just an example. And then he's like, oh, well, yeah, I just got the Trash Man Award for the day. Just has to be admired, has to be one up, has to be center of attention, that type of thing. The other thing is they will have a lack of empathy. Yes, lack of empathy. You could be going through a crisis in your life, your personal life, in your family life, in your work life, but they don't seem to support you in that regard. They may not hear you. They may not even really care that you are going through one of the worst nightmares of your life. And so kind of pay attention to those things. Number one, they routinely overestimate their abilities and inflate their accomplishments, often appearing boastful and pretentious. Have you ever noticed how they just kind of overinflate what they've done, and it may be very minimum. Hey, they're, the Starman, they got the Starman Awards today. They're not even, not even one of the characters, but just something that's like, hey, look at me all the time. Number 2, they may talk to you about being long overdue for admiration and privilege from you. They may carry that sense of entitlement. They may ruminate about long overdue admiration and privilege and compare themselves favorably with even other privileged people or sometimes other famous people. Or they may demean other privileged or famous people or people in their same peer group, but they're going to minimize. Oh, they don't, like for instance, if they are in a particular job and they have maybe a set of peers in a different division, same position, they may demean that entire group and minimize the efforts of their peers in their same group because they need that admiration so bad. Or they expect you to constantly give them some type of praise over and over and over in the relationship because they took the trash out or they did something very minimum, which should be very basic. So kind of pay attention to that too, ladies. Let's see. Number 3. Let's see where we are. Number 3. They may feel that they can only be understood by and should only associate with other people who are special or of high status and may attribute unique, perfect, or gifted qualities to those whom they associate with. So again, a lot of demeaning, a lot of minimizing you. Individuals with this disorder believe that their needs are special and beyond keen of ordinary people. Their own self-esteem is all the time enhanced. They put a lot of value on who they are, and especially if they associate with other people in their particular role, then that seems to be exasperated. So, they take it to a higher level, basically. So check, just kind of pay attention to that. Their self-esteem is almost very fragile. Now, that's something that they wouldn't be proud of you knowing, that really underneath all of that, I'm so great, I'm so perfect, and you're beneath me, is really a very fragile person. Now, ladies, because I'm going to keep saying the word men, the reason why I'm saying that is because typically 50 to 75% of individuals diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder are males. So you in particular, ladies, have to be a lot more sensitive about where you're engaging yourself in these relationships and pay attention to some of these things. If you're in a conversation with a man and he's going through some of the aforementioned things that I've spoken of here, he's inflating himself, everybody is beneath him. If he has a lack of sympathy, he has very arrogant and haughty and, I'm the man type of thing. Lean into that a little bit more and just start paying attention to how often you're hearing these themes. Number 5, they expect it to be catered to. They do not like to be told no, or they do not like to be challenged. And I'll add a bonus. They do not like to be questioned. Who are you to question them? Yes. Number 5, they expect to be catered to. And when they're not, secretly they revenge. They start to plot their revenge. Now, they may not tell you this. Of course they won't tell you this, but they expect a level of being catered to. They have a very high sense of entitlement, and you irritate them when you tell them no, and you irritate them when you have boundaries, and you irritate them when you have standards. They like yes women. They like women to just turn over and just take it. And you know what I mean by that, ladies. We're grown women here. So that could be pretty much a blanket statement for you got to be a yes lady, because they have a strong sense of entitlement. And when you do not comply, they secretly start to plot behind. They've already started plotting your demise behind your back. Now, does that sound like somebody you want to be in a relationship? We'll come back to that question later. Just be on the lookout, ladies, so that we can live life by design and not default. That's what the entire purpose of this channel is to help upgrade you in your thought process so that you can be aware, you can be mindful of how some of the trauma bonds and how the blockage and some of the bondage may have been keeping you back here when you really want to be springboarded over here. So let's keep going. Number 6. Let's see. I had a few of them for you today, ladies. Number 6. They expect to be given whatever they want or feel they need, no matter what it means to others. So if you just had a major surgery and they still want some type of service, quote service, they expect you to do it, ladies. They expect you to deliver no matter what your condition is. They expect it. And they expect a great dedication from you, even though they may not be able to reciprocate it to you. Now, here's where I'll add in some of the lingo from some of the other coaches out here where they talk about love bombing, and they're going to fill you up with a whole bunch of excessive fluffery and chivalry and all these type of giftings and I love yous and admiring you 100%. That is all fairy tale just for them to be able to, how we baste the turkey at Thanksgiving. Yes, ma'am. They're just pumping you up. So when you turn on your sixth sense, intuition, you'll start to better understand that this is really not about you. This is about more of what they are wanting from you. Yes, we're getting to that one. It's all about what they're wanting from you. So, number 7, they may assume that others are totally concerned about their welfare. They tend to discuss their own concerns inappropriately and lengthy in detail while failing to recognize that you have needs and feelings too. So again, it's all about me, and not even understanding that, hey, you have bleeding needs too. And again, don't forget that sense of entitlement. 8, they may begrudge others. They also may, again, just more admiration, ladies. Wanted to be acknowledged, wanted to be praised, arrogant, haughty, demeaning, lack of empathy, need for admiration, grandiosity. Think about these attributes, ladies. Think about these traits. Do you really want to find yourself involved with something like that? I don't think so. Think about it. They often display snobbish, disdainful, or patronizing attitudes, which again kind of minimizes you. When you think about who you are, does this sound like the type of person that you'd like in your life? Narcissistic personality disorder, I have to admit, is one of the harder personality disorders to actually have to deal with in terms of your partner. I'll be the first to say, if you're going to go this approach, if you're going to go this route with a gentleman who's been more than likely undiagnosed because they're too grandiose to go and get diagnosed, they frown upon therapists. They frown upon anybody that can tell them the truth. So it's not likely that they have been officially diagnosed with this personality disorder. And since that is the case more often than not, then you need to be equipped to be able to keep your sixth sense on at all times so that you will be equipped to just decide whether you want to entangle yourself into this, okay? And when I was talking about they're going to put their needs before yours, that could include that very thing, entanglement, by way of within 30 to 90 days, they want to get married. Within 30 to 90 days, they want to get you pregnant. They want to trap you. It's entrapment. They want to keep you because, again, that's their need. It may not be yours, but that is their need. So keep that in mind, okay? So we went through about 8 or 9 things. Maybe I'll give you this last one. Individuals with this disorder may complain about other people's failures all the time. Now, ladies, think about it. When you come into the relationship, are they always talking about the ex who was from 1 to 10 imperfect? Think about that. 1 to 10, they are imperfect. Yet and still, the last 10 people in their life have been imperfect. Pay attention to when a man is telling you about the ex. Or how about this, ladies? Why do we need to know about the ex? You don't. To have a healthy relationship, there are some things you do need to know about his past, but not every single detail about a previous ex's failures. Hint, 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 signs of a narcissist, when they want to spell out every gory failure of the previous woman, which, by the way, is just their opinion, which doesn't make it a fact or doesn't make it right. So, just a few things for you to consider. I will follow up with this and give you more clinical information, because some of the information that's floating around out here is not necessarily clinical. It may sound really good, like the love bombing words and, some of the other catchphrases. I apologize. I don't have them all written down because none of those can be found in our clinical books. Those are just themes and things that other coaches have come up with because it sounds catchy and very trendy. But here's where we need to know what exactly is narcissism. I've given you 9 things to kind of think about. You'll start to be a little bit more sensitive, ladies, when you start talking to these gentlemen, when you start meeting men, and when you start saying, hey, do I want to get in a relationship with this person? When I'm seeing some of these things that they seem to be a little abnormal. It's abnormal for a guy to just sit up and talk about his accomplishments. It's abnormal for him not to have any sense of empathy for the fact that you may have just encountered a tragedy or some form of crisis, or have a set of issues that you're presently working through. So kind of think about that. Think about how you want that to be included in your life going forward. And if you want that to be a relationship, or if you're currently in a relationship with a gentleman that's, quote, undiagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder, that would be another episode to help you and to figure out how to untangle from that. Because a lot of times it does seem like it's entrapment, simply because they want so much obligation for their own goals right up front. So pay attention to that. Again, ladies, this is QueenDreamz. Thank you so much for taking your time to listen to What is Narcissism? Thank you so much for your efforts to log into this episode today. I come here every week on Wellness Wednesdays on this YouTube channel. Again, help us grow the channel. Join us on our Facebook group. And if you want more information about relationships, please check out my book called Loving You Feels Right, But I Do Not Want to Be Wrong.
Loving You Feels Right, But I Don't Want to Be Wrong offers godly counsel to men and women who are tired of being stuck in a relationship rut and are ready to date a mate. Do you keep ending up in unsatisfying relationships? Do you find yourself returning to relationships that don't make you feel whole? Are you always someone else's plan B? Are you just looking to grow closer to your partner and discover God's will for your union? If you answered yes to any of these questions, this book is for you.
And better yet, ladies, join us for a workshop where we will talk about restructuring, rebranding, refocusing, recovering, and rebuilding, especially if you've had a toxic relationship with a gentleman that's been diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. That workshop, called Matters of the Heart, will be held virtually on October the 3rd at 6 p.m. Central. Please visit our website for more details and how you can get registered at www.QueenDreamz.com. I look very much forward to seeing you in the future.